Elisabeth Persson comes from Skane, a small town in Sweden, where she learned to become a ceramic artist and has been working in this field for more than 35 years. She first came to Vietnam in 1997 and since then has returned for over 15 times to nurture her mini art project at Hanoi's Nguyễn Đình Chiểu School for Blind Students. Elisabeth has decided to dedicate all the money she inherited from her father, though not much, to the project. In 2005, she arranged a cultural exchange in Sweden for 7 students who then had the honor to meet Queen Sylvia of Sweden in the royal castle. Elisabeth herself suffers glaucoma, which doctors say may ruin her eyesight in the next few years. Braving her own sickness, she said she will continue coming back for help as long as she can. Many visually impaired students at Nguyễn Đình Chiểu say they love her as a fairy godmother of their own, who has led them to painting and pottery making and opened up a door for them to get into the world.
Hello there and welcome to Talk Vietnam. You've just seen a short clip on Elisabeth Persson. Elisabeth is an independent artist from Sweden. She's returned to Vietnam 15 times in order to realize her dream of doing a project on showing visually impaired students more on pottery making. It's a very noble cause, and she's actually here in our studio today to talk more about this project and also her devotion to it. So join me in welcoming Elisabeth. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you yourself. I'm very happy to be here.
Now tell us, we just told the audience that you've been here at least 15 times.
Yeah.
When was the first time actually that you came to Vietnam?
The first time was 1997, and it was just after your Tet. The weather was like now, so and I was here because I wanted to learn something about the Celadon ceramic, because I have worked with ceramic for 35 years. And Vietnamese artist I met by chance. She was having an exhibition in Sweden, and my colleague also has at the same gallery. And I met her, and we started to talk about the Celadon. And Madame Van Sung Tan is her name, very fine artist. She told me the source of the Celadon is in Vietnam, and you should learn it in Vietnam, she said, and I can perhaps help you. That was the first contact with Hanoi Fine Art Association, and with this general secretary at that time, artist Mr. Tam Dok Tu. Yes, so I was invited, and I came the first time, 97 in February.
Now, among the students that Elisabeth has taught, there's one very special student who was in her very first class here in Vietnam. His name is Bùi Thế Thành, and we'll get to see him in the following clip. So in our studio today, we actually have Bùi Thế Thành here with us. He's here to talk to us about his class with Elisabeth Persson. Thank you very much for coming here today and for joining us. So can you tell us, Thành, what did you feel, or do you remember the first time that you touched clay and that you were able to start pottery making?
Trước khi vào trường thì em mới chỉ được học vẽ, và qua cảm nhận bằng màu sắc nó nổi lên bằng cái bảng lưới, tức là bảng dành cho học sinh khiếm thị có thể sờ bức tranh mình vẽ và nó nổi lên được. Còn em rất lạ lẫm với đất nặng, không biết đất như thế nào, mềm hay cứng hay dẻo, nên ra em rất là bỡ ngỡ.
So now, how many years have you learned pottery making? Do you remember?
Em mới học nặn thì được khoảng tầm 4 năm.
What do you think are some of the skills that you've gained through your classes with Elizabeth Pearson?
Mới đầu thì em không biết gì về gốm và cách làm như thế nào để sản phẩm của mình được đẹp và tốt. Mới đầu thì thật là bỡ ngỡ, thì em cũng không biết nặn cả khối luôn, mà là cứ nặn từng bộ phận rồi ghép vào. Nhưng mà do mình không biết nên ra khi nung lên mình gắn vào nó chưa được khít thì nó sẽ bị rụng. Và khi được bà hướng dẫn thì em biết là mình nặn cái gì thì cũng phải là từ một cục đất khối. Sau đó mình phải làm rỗng ở bên trong.
Yeah, you mentioned imagination and using your imagination to really make the shape that you want. How do you visualize, or how do you get to the point where you can make the shapes that you are really aiming for?
Em thì đa số là nặn khuôn mặt của mình. Và em đầu tiên là em sẽ nặn một cái hình tròn ạ. Sau đó thì em sẽ sờ bằng tay mình. Đầu tiên là em sờ ở dưới, thấy cái cằm mình nhọn. Và em sẽ bóp cho nó nổi cái cằm lên ạ. Xong rồi ấy mồm và cũng mình cứ bóp bóp thôi ạ. Và nắn xong rồi để cho nó nổi lên như là cái môi của mình. Sau đấy rồi nặn mũi ạ. Và mũi thì nó phình ra, thì em thò tay vào và em để hai cái tay như này ạ. Rồi mình ấy đất theo cái đầu tay này tượng trưng như hai cái của mũi ạ. Và nó sẽ nổi lên. Rồi em uốn một hình như là cái hình theo tưởng tượng thì nó như là một cái tòa tháp ấy, hình tam giác ấy. Và em uốn cong lên. Khuôn mặt thì mới đầu thì nó sẽ không được như là hình mặt hình chiếc lá, mà nó chỉ là hình tròn không. Thì em lấy hai cái tay và chọc hai cái lỗ ra để cho nó thủng cả bên trong, để khi nung lên nó không bị vỡ ấy. Rồi sau đấy em dùng tay và miết rồi nắn chỉnh sao cho nó thành đúng khuôn mặt của mình.
So, what do you think of Ms. Elizabeth Pearson's efforts and her devotion to helping students such as yourself in really realizing and translating art onto clay?
Bà Elizabeth thì bọn em coi như là một bà tiên, đã đem đến cho em gọi là có thể biết được cuộc sống xung quanh mình. Tức là giúp bọn em có thể gọi là mất đi cái mặc cảm gọi là mình khuyết tật mà không làm được gì có ích cho xã hội. Thì bọn em đã được giải tỏa gọi là cái mặc cảm đấy. Và bọn em cũng biết đến nặn gốm rồi vẽ tranh rồi làm thủ công như mọi người bình thường. Và em thấy rất là vui khi được các sản phẩm của bọn em được mọi người công nhận và khen. Và đó là những cái động lực giúp bọn em có thể vượt qua mọi bệnh tật của mình để vươn lên.
So, do you have any special memories with Miss Pearson, whom you call the fairy?
Em có một lần là hôm đấy là em thì đang nằm viện ạ. Và bà sang và em cố gắng dậy và đi cùng bố để sang chơi với bà ở bên Bát Tràng. Hai bà cháu thì cứ khoác vai nhau rồi dắt nhau đi chơi, mặc dù là rất mệt nhưng mà rất là vui và nhiều cái ý nghĩa. Và bà dạy cho em thêm nhiều về gốm và cách nặn, và nói chung là bà đi đâu và tìm tòi rất là nhiều cách để có thể giúp bọn em nặn gốm một cách gọi là nhanh nhất và hiệu quả nhất ạ.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Cảm ơn em rất nhiều đã đến với chương trình ngày hôm nay. So I understand that Thanh has also joined with Elizabeth Pearson in two other trips this time out to some villages that are famous for pottery making. So we'll join them in the following report.
This ivory-colored pottery animal, native to Chu Dậu village, is made with clay extracted from the village river. Liz is most impressed with the special properties of this clay and product made from it. Liz has made 15 trips to Vietnam, over 35 years of experience in pottery making, yet she learns something new each time she pays visits to traditional Vietnamese ceramics villages.
I understand that people want to have these old forms and space and design in their home to save it for other generations. I think that is very good. Of course, also as an artist, need to have the new thing coming, but I think to build the ground on the old traditional culture is very important.
During this visit to Kay village, Liz has again gotten to use the pottery wheel, a pottery making tool she's no stranger to.
But it was interesting to try, yes. I tried some wheel before, electric, and it was not so strong perhaps in the engine as we have in Sweden, but it is almost the same technique.
This is not the first time Vu Thế Thanh has gone on an outing to a ceramics village with Elizabeth. As he does and personates, Thanh is today one of Elizabeth's best students.
Bây giờ thì em có thể nặn được tượng và vẽ được những bức tranh để đem lại niềm vui cho mọi người và có thể bộc lộ được cảm xúc của mình, chia sẻ cảm xúc của mình qua tranh và qua tượng.
This outing to Chu Dậu and Kay villages for Thanh is an exciting and memorable personal experience, all for a most innocent and simple reason.
Em thấy rất là vui và sung sướng, vừa tự hào khi chỉ có mình được đi.
Right, so we just saw some footages of Elizabeth and some of her students visiting the Kay and Chu Dậu villages, their pottery villages. So can you tell us a little bit more about these trips that you took? What was interesting?
To go there with the students, the blind students who work with ceramic now, it is very good. And very interesting. Sometimes you try to find new ways to use the material, to find ways where you can see perhaps this student, perhaps he could work here in the future.
So meeting with the kids and having fun and showing them more on pottery making has always been a very passionate cause for Elizabeth each time she comes to Hanoi. We'll join in that fun, that atmosphere in the following in one of her classes with the students.
Today, Elizabeth has a new young student to teach. Ming is just a newcomer to this class and quite a beginner in pottery making. So eagerly and a bit hastily, he simply wants to learn everything all at a time. For Tung, a veteran student in the workshop, sculpting birds remained his favorite choice since he entered class more than 3 years ago.
Con chim thì em thường nặn những chim thì em thường nặn rất là nhiều con ạ. Và như là nó tượng trưng như một gia đình, được nó không bị gò bó một cái gì cả và nó được bay lên không gian với những cái tình cảm gắn liền bên nhau và nó được thoải mái khám phá mọi nơi và không có gì là ngăn cách đối với nó nữa. Em muốn là mình thể được như vậy.
Meanwhile, Thanh, who is also one of the first students Elizabeth has got here, has chosen to continue making self-portraits. Each of the students here conveys different feelings through what he or she makes.
Em đã hình trái tim ạ. Vì bọn em thì thường phải cảm nhận gần như là tất cả bằng tim ạ. Đến lớp bố mẹ thì những cái điều mà em nghĩ về cuộc sống bên ngoài, những cái đồ vật, ví dụ những con vật ấy ạ, thì em có thể thể hiện qua các cái tác phẩm mà em làm.
I feel happy and moved also, also moved, but happy and also I can see that these students, blind and visually impaired, they have a great capacity to do many things.
Of 2009, for the first time ever, the visually impaired students had a art showcasing of their artworks, the pottery making that is, to the public here in Hanoi. So we'll take a look at some footages from that.
These portraits, figurines, and animals are among the hundreds of ceramics artwork on display. Just as the exhibition named Light from Hands indicates, the visually impaired students saw with their hands. They touched their own faces, remembered the details, and translated those feelings onto the clay into self-portraits. Bùi Thế Thành is one of the best at making such portrait sculptures.
Em thấy khó nặng nhất là cái mũi. Bởi vì lúc đầu khi mình bóp, nếu mà bóp mạnh quá thì nó lại bẹt mất, mà ấy rộng quá thì nó lại to quá. Nên là rất khó, thờ thật kỹ. Thậm chí có khi còn phải giơ lên này và đo xem có bằng không.
The students stunned their teachers, many of whom are professional sculptors and painters, with their passion for art and the aspirations they express through their works.
Mình nhận lời do tò mò, mà tiếp xúc với các em một thời gian thì mình lại bị chính các em ấy làm cho mình thấy là đam mê và thấy cái sự yêu thích đến tuyệt vời ở trong đấy, bởi vì các em nó làm cho mình từ ngạc nhiên nọ đến ngạc nhiên kia.
And now, viewers at the exhibition are the next in line to admire the students' efforts and talents.
What I see are beautiful paintings and beautiful sculptures which tell so much about life, which well, they really impressed me, myself, because I think normally we think, oh, these people are blind or visually impaired, they can't do it, but you see they can do so much and they tell you so much, and I think through those pictures I can see life in a different perspective.
Also on view at the exhibition are more than 40 paintings drawn by visually impaired and low vision students. Surprisingly, no dark color is in sight. The paintings are as light as bright.
All of them shows children's positive vision of the world. Life with parents, animals, happy life with animals. So all those paintings shows us their positive thinking of the world. I think it's most impressive for me, even though they have the difficulties in their daily life.
The exhibition is the fruit of 2 years and a half of hard work by both teachers and students. Winninchill School now has nearly 140 visually impaired students who are classmates of sighted peers. The mini art project is teaching painting and pottery making to some 30 visually impaired students, which has been realized with the help from international organizations from Sweden, Germany, and Japan.
2005, I organized this 15 days, and I think the group, yes, it was 7 students.
What did the Queen think about their artworks?
She got one picture from each student. It was framed with the glass and everything.
Oh, they gave it to her as
They
a
gave
gift.
it to her, yes.
Wonderful.
And there are pictures on each of them when the Queen is receiving this picture from each child, each student. And she was very amazed and also informed her about the technique they're working with according to picture.
Now back to the model of teaching visually impaired students on pottery making here in Vietnam.
Do you think, I mean, have you done this model in other country, or is Vietnam the first place that you've done this model?
Yeah, it is the first place. So, and I think even if I perhaps would like to, I'm old now, and I don't think, and I think there is a lot more to do in Vietnam, and I would like to follow. Even perhaps in the future, I cannot come so often. I would like to follow, to have the contact with our teachers and with the schools. And also now there is you could say a phase 2, phase 2 in it, because the headmaster, Mr. Pham Huy Quy, before, no, not, it was Mr. Dung, Pham Ang Dung. He and the artist, Mr. Tam Duc Tu, has taken my vision and my project to other blind schools in other provinces.
In the other provinces as well.
Hung Yen, I will go to tomorrow. I have met them once before. And Mr. Tu, he has had seminars because he is the artist. Also, great experience with children, as I told you before. So I'm very happy that he helped in this.
Exactly.
And so that is why it will widen. And according to the VBA, I'm very happy they also has opened the door for this thinking and my vision. And as Mr. Tu said, Elizabeth, you are the mother of this.
Exactly.
Then a mother has to take care of his children and have responsibility. So I think I will stay on, and I will try to also create some finance for this. Yes.
Right. Wonderful. Well, it's an idea that started from you, and I think it will continue to grow in the country as well. What is it, if you had to say one wish, a dream that you have for all of these visually impaired students that you have worked with here in Vietnam, what would it be?
That will be that I want them to think of themselves as a gift to the world. That is my advice to them, to try to think of themselves as a gift to the world. And the world shall say thank you for coming to this world with these difficulties. You choose to be in this body, in this world today, and thank you for that. So we should say thank you to them. And they are really very special. So, and we should take care of them.
So basically take life as in the most beautiful way that you can, very optimistically. And think of yourself as doing good for the world, and that the world will too accept you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.